What's going on, people? So, Boost shoes, that's what we're here to talk about, or at least that's what I'm here to talk about. You're here to, I guess, listen to it maybe, or watch from a distance as you imagine what I'm saying. I don't know what people do with these videos, honestly. But here's the thing, I'm doing it. So, September, right? Kind of like how in March, Nike has like Air Max month, like as an official thing, or Air Max Day, whatever. So I usually spend all of that wearing Air Max shoes. I do kind of the same thing for September, but with Boost things. I don't think they have an actual recognized day for that. They did one year, and it was in October at some point. But since that's just when I like got into them, like when I first bought my initial pair or whatever, that's why I go with September. So there you go. These Let's start with some stuff that's over here on the floor real quick. Try to get through this relatively quickly because there's a lot of stuff here, right? I did my quarterly pickup video this morning and that went so long, like so long. It was ridiculous. Anyway, so every day I pull these things out, right? I really don't wear them a whole lot. It's the Adidas Boost slides, right? The Ultra Boost slides from however long ago that was a thing, 2019. So they're not bad, right? I remember getting them and thinking, yeah, they're good, right? But they didn't really blow me away like the other stuff did. And then they just kind of fizzled out. Nobody bought them. There was like the two colors, and that was pretty much the end of it. Also, these both came out regularly because both of these are like my one of my pairs or two of my pairs of concert shoes, right? So you might remember me rambling about these from a turnover show, like 2019, 2020. So that's going to be an Ultra Boost 2.0, right? You can tell by the stitching pattern up there, right? And then this is what is this, the Retro P E9, right? I think that's what this was called. Very sure that's what this was called. I bought these, I saw these, and I thought, wow, these are freaking ugly. But they should make for decent concert shoes, right? And that's why there's all the stains on them and whatnot. I think I also wore them to the ska festival that was going on as well. So I did that for a while. And this is an older pair also from, I want to say I got these in 2019 as well. So I don't wear them normally or whatever, but if I'm going to be standing around at the Norva, that's what I do. And so now a couple other ones that I don't have in the boxes or whatever because I keep certain things just by the door ready to go. So listen, for these, Ultra Boost 19 in the Ice Mint colorway. This one, I pulled these out because like it is like a favorite of mine. So there's that. And also one little side story about these. When I started doing this here channel many moons ago, I I was watching somebody else's video or whatever, and at the end, you know how they throw up all that grid of things that you should watch or whatever? I like saw myself in there and I was like, "Oh, that's weird," right? Like, for one, why are you like advertising this to me? Because like that's me. But two, it's just weird to see yourself being publicized on the internet or whatever. So there is that. But yeah, I like these a whole lot, not just as a model, but as a too. And then you got this right here. This is going to be an Ultra Boost 4, Ultra Boost 4.0, right? Stitching pattern is kind of more lines and whatnot. Got some sort of circle square type of thing going on in there. I like the blue. It's kind of cool. It's unnecessary in some ways. It's like, why did they do that? But it works. And I wore a shirt that actually like worked out perfectly with these that day for some reason. Largely a coincidence to be completely honest. Let's see, those 2-point colorway is dope. Thank you for that. I will pass that word on to Adidas as soon as I can. Another pair of Ultra Boost 19s right here. Still some kind of bolt and gray colorway, which is a thing I'm a huge fan of. You'll see another pair here. So I don't remember what I was doing with these. I think I just pulled them out because I wanted to. Sometimes, like when I'm doing these for like the month, I'll wear certain things because it's like I'm gonna want to talk about it for a certain reason or whatever. But some of it is just things that just came up. Like this one right here, I knew I was gonna be doing one of my little remember these videos on what is this, the Ultra Boost Mid, and so that's the only pair that I have. So it was the only choice I had to pull out or whatever. But these, I do like these a lot. It's not gonna give you like the normal Ultra Boost feel that you would expect from like the upper and stuff, because as you can see, it's very much a knitted thing, right? It's a little different, or feels a little different. The fit, sizing wise, is still pretty much the same to me. But it's kind of like got like an Ultra Boost A sort of vibe going on, but you look at the rest of it and it does not. And then under the foot is like the same comfort. But overall, this upper here it was crazy, man. Like I guess I figured that they would make more of these at the time, so I bought this one, and then they didn't. So now it's the only one I have, which is unfortunate because it's one of my most liked Ultra Boost models overall, and one that I have obviously to boost up. So it sucks, but that's life, right? Sometimes life sucks, sometimes it's fine. Ups and downs. You got to have both to appreciate the other, right? Now let's do this thing. Got 5 stacks of shoes here. Going to try to get through this in a somewhat timely manner. I'm not in a rush. I don't know if anybody out there is or whatever, but I just don't like things to drag on. So I'm starting with like the shoes that I wore. I do a lot of running. I don't know if you people know that or whatever. So I'm gonna start with like the running shoes, I guess. So this is the Ultra Boost 21, right? I think it was the 21. Yeah, I had to double check. You can tell by the stitching pattern. The 22 stops here, and it has like a different little grid type of thing going on. But yeah, so this is the Ultra Boost 21. Wore these to the Scout Festival also. Ran about 3 miles between bands or whatever, just to kind of get that in for the day. I don't like these. Like for running purposes, they aren't very good. Because I've had another pair. It's over there, like a lime green sort of pair that I really like. I was gonna bring those out for the month at some point. But after wearing these and running around in them, I was like, oh, we're not doing that. I don't know. It's just not the. It's a little too snug in some areas. It's comfortable to walk around in, but for running, it just doesn't work so well. But whatever. That's the Ultra one. So we're 3 years away from that. They're not doing it anymore. So to complain about it now doesn't really make any sense. I'm sure at the time I was fine with it, right? Because sometimes you just don't really think it's too bad until you just like improvements over the next couple of years. But whatever. Moving on. So this is probably going to be a pair of 22s. Yeah. So the Magic Gray Ultra Boost 22. Very much the same as the last one. Like I said, the stitching pattern changes just a little bit up in there. I like these a whole lot, as far as the feeling of it. Not as good as other things later, but just walking around in them, they are pretty comfortable. I'll give them that. Still not a huge fan of just like the big thick soles and whatnot, but that's kind of the thing that, like I said in other videos, functionality of it makes sense. I get why they're doing it. It's not just there for looks. It actually does have some sort of value to it. Visually, I just don't care for it. But since that's the only problem, I don't really complain a whole lot about it. Yeah, so that's the Ultra Boost 22, and then we're gonna have one more because again, like I go out probably 3 times a week for running and whatnot, and so I try to keep the rotation going. So I got a few more of these to get through as far as that piece. This is the same as the last thing. It's another 22. I bought these last year, basically just so I could have some fresh shoes for Comic Con, like something unworn. So it worked out pretty well, and they survived pretty decently considering they're a color that would definitely get dirty with just looking at them the wrong way. So that's cool. But yeah, another Ultra Boost 22. Put that down here. This is gonna be kind of like the Ultra Boost 23 in some ways, but it's the Ultra Boost Light. That's what they named it. So it's basically the same thing as what you just saw for the most part, as far as the overall silhouette goes. But it is significantly lighter, and obviously you can't tell from the video. If you ever see a pair in store, you'll see what I'm talking about. Then again, they're probably not really pushing these anymore since the 5 and the 5Xs are out. But either way, had a new version of the Boost, so now they have Light Boost. I believe that's what this was called, something like that. So with that, it's just going to be the same thing, but lighter, still as comfortable, so it's cool. And then a more breathable upper. So all in all, some good improvements. And running around in these, I had to pull these out a few times last month, and they worked out very well. I had run in them earlier in the year. This was, I think, the first pair of shoes I bought this year, maybe. Sounds right. And they worked out very well. But earlier in the year, like I had some knee issues going on, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of that. But now I can get out there and do whatever I want. Things are going pretty well. Moving along, a couple more of these before we get into just daily wears. So this is the Ultra Boost 5X in some sort of halo silver type of color, something like that. I forget what they called it, but I remember halo being one of the words. So I was just talking about these earlier today because I did my quarterly pickup video and whatnot. Still not the biggest fan of the overall colorway. It's not bad. It's just that I was going to wait for something better to come along, but then I kind of ran out of time for waiting because when these came out and the whole Boost Month thing rolling around, time just was not on my side. But these, as a model, totally are. Like, like I said in the follow-up reviews and stuff, these are the best feeling running wise Ultra Boost that I've worn since 19, right? Remember these guys, the Ultra Boost 19? Yeah, and that was a long time ago, 5 years, right? So pulling those out and running around in them the first time, I was like pleasantly surprised. Even just walking around in them when I was doing the initial review, I felt like it was going to be a pretty good thing. And this is all the same, right? This is just going to be. It originally was an all white pair, but then I went to that color run thing, and now they're kind of got some blues going on. But I don't have to really say anything else about that because I've said it already. So I'm going to move on. Not talk about here. This is going to be the 5, not the 5X. 5X does not have the cage. The 5 has the cage. The only real difference behind there is slight change in the stitching. It doesn't have all these extra perforations and whatnot. So the breathability and just the overall feel is not as good as the 5X. But in actual execution, I did a 5K in these, did an 8K in the 5Xs. Very much the same experience overall, right? No complaints, none whatsoever. It's just one of those things where when you're wearing it, if you think about it, yes, you can feel it, but as you start moving around and whatnot, it's not so much on your mind. So then it becomes a non-factor. So, like I said in the follow-up thing, if you're looking at like choosing between the 5 and the 5X, I would say just go with the one that looks the best to you, because overall you're going to get the same treatment. And if you're not running in them, then it truly doesn't really matter because you're not going to notice some of those improvements anyway. Now, finishing off with like the running shoes, right? Yeah. This is going to be the Adidas Terex 2 Ultra Parlay. Oh, no, Ultra Prime Blue, excuse me. The yellow pair was Parlay. This one, Prime Blue. So either way, there you go. There's that. I like them a whole lot because, well, honestly, like Fruity Pebbles or something like that, And it's like colorway, which is also pretty cool. So this is a trail running shoe. I broke these out because I was going out with some people to run through some trails. Felt like this would be a good time to finally wear these. I've had these things for years, and I just now got around to wearing them. It's kind of crazy, right? When you have a lot of shoes, that's kind of one of the drawbacks. Stuff gets forgotten about. So, anyways, they feel really good. Still not going to be my preferred trail running shoe. That's going to be the Pegasus from Nike, easily. But yeah, it's had a weird feeling in the upper stuff, but they're good for what they're made for. It's just they're, to me, are better options. Even though I'm not going to complain about them, still, you want to know, like, sometimes one thing is better than another, right? Doesn't necessarily make something bad. Just not as so that's where that's. Now we can get into just like the random shoes that I've pulled out of waterwork because that's pretty much the only place I go other than the gym, really. And, random trails and such. So this right here is going to be not the way this is. Some kind of multicolored whatever, like gray. But either way, Ultra Boost 2.0, as you can see up there, that kind of stitching pattern is two. The one had a heart, right? 3 had the lines, and the 4 had kind of like a almost a grid system. You'll see that in a little bit here. So I'm gonna have to get some of these out. But yeah, so Ultra Boost 2.0, I really like this colorway a whole lot. I want to say I bought them. I think I bought these at the same time as the 1988 Seoul Olympics Ultra Boost. It was like one of those things that I walked into the store and I saw those and I saw these and I was like, oh, looks like it's going to be one of those days where things get a little expensive. It happens, right? We've all been there. You spend a little bit more money than you want to because you see a bunch of stuff that you want. You're already in buying mode. So let the floodgates up. You end up with a bunch of stuff, right? I do that almost on a daily basis. Not a good way to live, but you know, So this up next, that's the Ultra, not the Ultra, Adidas Boost 380 in the highlight colorway. Also looks like alien vomit is what I said in the video, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a fan. Like, I like this look. It's like the better of the two 380s that I have, right? I bought this only because I was wondering if maybe going up half size would make them feel better. I didn't feel like I had a rooming issue, like a sizing issue in the 9.5, but I bought this 10, and now I just feel like I have more room that I don't need, and they're not any comfortable. So really, I think this was like one of those sales shoes, like where an Adidas was trying to get rid of me. So it is what it is. It's not everything works out I want it to, but I have them now. Every now and then I'm going to wear them. But as far as shoes go, or just the 380, it's dumb and feels kind of bad. So I don't know. But other people disagree with it, right? I have good friends of mine that we see eye to eye on certain other shoes, say like the React Press things or the Infinite, but we have a very different opinion on me. So don't take my word for it. What your hands use, see what everybody else is saying. Hopefully find your own for a good price and then make your own opinion. It's a lot better. So moving along, thing like I have I have those same color, love them, super comfy. So I didn't read that till right now, but I think you're talking about the 380. I feel like that was the last that I had up long enough for you to say that. Then again, you could be watching delay. That's the thing. Like if you're ever watching a live thing, if you look at the bottom, there's like a little live thing on the scroll bar, just to make sure that you are actually talking. Sometimes that's the thing you should know. Anyways, this right here, Ultra Boost 20. I was not a huge fan of the 20 when it first came around. Looking back at it, as I did in one of those remember these videos recently, looking at how things went with the 21 and the 22 and the light as far as the visual piece goes, I like the 20 a lot more now. But overall, I mean, being like a straight like prime knit sort of material, well, it was a prime knit material, not sort of, to this like recycled plastic stuff, it just doesn't feel as good in the upper piece. The boost on the bottom is still fine. They did make a pretty decent series of colors for the 20, which they kind of didn't do for the 21, 22, or the light, in my opinion. But as an overall experience, I just didn't like it compared from the 19. But whatever. At the end of the day, I think I ended up with three of these. There was a Volt pair. I always get the Volt pair. There was this pair, the marble splatter. That's what they call it. You gotta see it's got like some marble in the stripes as well. And then also the collegiate blue, right? And navy, something like that. Or no, collegiate red and navy. I think that's what it was. But I didn't wear those this month. But I did do one of those videos about them not too long ago. Remember these ones, which are done now. And I'm thrilled about that because trying to, I need those videos to be like a minute long. All my short form stuff was originally like made for Instagram, right? I just put it over here because why not? But I kind of hate short, so I had to make those videos just long enough. So they all end up coming out to like 59 minutes or 59 seconds, 59 frames, because 60 frames per second. So then they end up being like a minute and 1 second once they actually get onto YouTube. So that means I have to like time how much I'm saying. I can't stop too early, can't stop too late. Yeah, it was a whole hassle. I've still gotten like largely all in like one take, which is pretty cool, right? But a lot of them. This right here is the Ultimate 22 Cold Ready Edition, right? For some reason, I had it in my mind that these were going to be like water resistant. They are not. I wore these on something like lightly reading, went right through there, right on through. So I wasn't thrilled about that, but it is what it is. It's pretty nice overall, though. Like I bought a pair for my aunt. Like, they do have like really durable sole down there and all that extra grip and everything. So since she's out in Iowa where there's a lot of like snow and stuff, it works out pretty well for her. So there is that. But yeah, pretty nice all in all. But I think what I need to do is probably pick up a pair of Gore-Tex shoes because that would offer a little bit more protection in the upper. It's just that a lot of the Gore-Tex shoes that I've seen, I saw them when they were full price, and I don't believe in paying full price for mostly anything. When I saw the sale too late, and my sizes were gone on all the colors that I would have considered buying. So it is what it is, right? Let's see. Audio keeps cutting out. Audio no good, bro. Like, okay, well, nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna keep talking and assume that things are fine. Well, I mean, I hope not, but whatever. Thanks for the heads up and all, but if there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to do about it. So, anyways, right here, this is going to be the what is it, the Yet Shield. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that word, but either way, it's the 350. This is the only 350 I pulled out for the month. And it is probably at this point my most worn one. So I do like it a lot. It's got like the 3M laces and a bunch of colors in there. So this was like a holiday 2019 release. Very cool. It's one of the ones that I was really into. I don't know why. It just kind of fans out as being pretty nice. I don't think it made it into my top 10 or anything, but it is respectable for sure. Honestly, I don't even know what made it into that top 10 at this point, past the semi-frozen yellow, because that one, well, that's like the number one, right? The clay was probably in there. I like that one a lot. The Ultra Boost Uncaged is definitely one that I spoke very highly of for a long, long time. Because compared to like the standard ones, it's close enough. They have like the cage on the side and everything. They still have like a little bit on the inside. You can't really see that so much, but there is like a little piece on the inside to give it a little structure. That's why it doesn't just pop over like the compact 350s or anything like that. That's why they can stand still like this. But all in all, this is like so much more comfortable. It just feels more like that sock type feel that they were going for and all that. So big fan of the Uncaged. They did make a couple over the years later. Every so often, I think they'd pull out like maybe one or two a year. You see one of those, but not the other one. There was another one from Nature Lab or something. That thing, it was like the softest shoe I've ever felt. It's crazy. I don't know what it was made of. Probably magic, I guess. But yeah, it worked out very well. The color was even pretty nice, right? It wasn't one that I would really gravitate towards for the most part, but it just looked like a beige yellowish sort of thing. Speaking of things that I liked a lot, not these. This is the Ultra Boost 6.0 DNA. Right? One of the things about the DNA series, I guess I can use this one as a good example. So you have like the different 1 through 4 all up in here. So on the side, you have like the one on the top. It's going to be from the two. Midsection is from the three. That's where the lines come in. And then this blocky type area is going to be based off the four. So that's kind of where this look came from, right? But the thing that sucks about these is this piece right here is super hard and it's super sharp. It just digs right into your foot. Because this upper is like super thin and whatnot. Yeah, you feel that with each and every step. I put these on and I immediately regretted it, but I was like, I'm doing this because again, it's something that I'm going to be bringing up and talking about. So I need to have it fresh in my head. So sometimes you suffer just a little bit for the cause. So that's what happened. Now we're going to put those away, but they do look really nice. I like that crew blue. It's like that non-dyed sort of thing. So kind of have like the right tint to it now. I like them a whole lot, visually speaking. Just wish they were better. These are pretty nice too. They're kind of heavy, honestly. EQT 9118. So there's that. See that 9118. So the shoe was made in 2018, based off of 1991. That's the way it was. There was also a 9317 that had a similar style, but it was I don't know. I remember that briefly, but I didn't like something about it, so I sent it. But either way, so these right here, upper wise, the It kind of reminded me a lot of the compact 350. They just have that style to them as far as it's really nice. It really is. And then even others look really good too. So it's unfortunate that they made like practically none of these as far as colorway options go, because this was one of the better feeling Boost shoes. It just I feel like it just flew under the radar for a lot of people, which is too bad, you know. But it's one of those things again. You know, that's why I do these once in a while. Talk about some stuff that I used to like, or maybe show that somebody who maybe has never seen it or whatever. And now got us a 700. So any guesses what color this is going to be, or what version this is going to be? You get the inflamed amber V1, and you would have been correct. So overall, a lot of people always talk about how the 700 is like one of the best things ever. I still just don't see it. One thing I'll also throw out there while I'm thinking about it, the initial 700 V1s and the later 700 V1s, they changed the insole and something else about it. So these newer ones don't quite feel the same fit wise. So I have these in a 9.5, and my wave runners are 9.5, but these feel like there's like no room up here in this toe box area. So if you're looking at buying a pair of these, if it's one of the later ones, you might want to go up a half. But I was good true to size on the other pair, so whatever. But yeah, all this a while ago, late after the review, excuse me, after the release had already happened, so I missed my chance to buy them. Kept it in the back of my mind. So then recently, when everybody kind of stopped caring about the 350s and 700s and all the other Yeezys, let me go ahead, check in on these, see if I can get them for a decent price. And I did. What was that price exactly? I don't know. But I can tell you that it was retail or under because, again, I am not a big fan of that much something that I only kind of want. And those come with a hefty price, at least by my standards. So yeah, I don't know what it would have been like as far as like the overall cost, but I just put the thing out there on the StockX and hope that it works out okay. And there's homegrown pick. It says I like these one of the better colorways of the 350. So that's an old comment there. 'Cause I passed that 350 a while ago. So this right here is an NMD. I do not like the Adidas NMD. It does not feel as comfortable as other Boost shoes. I'd probably say it's the bottom of the barrel overall for like straight comfort. I mean, I guess yeah, because I'd say that's even worse than those. It just doesn't feel good. It fits a little bit. They don't have like an insole that leaves like enough some extra room in there. Yeah, I mean, I like this one. It reminds me of the first Nike runners that I got, which was the same color, even with the gum bottom. So for that reason, I thought, oh, that could be cool to have. And they were probably on some kind of sale, I guess. There's no price invoice in here. I bought these from WSS back in July of 2021. Just now wore these for the first time, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So again, that's the thing, I have a lot of shoes. I think that's no secret at this point. And I know some people that kind of think that that's a cool thing to do. It's also a very cumbersome thing to work with. So let me tell you that getting all your shoe numbers up, it's a mess, right? So let's move along. Let's move along. How are you? I'm fine, I guess. Just kind of doing this thing, talking a little bit, listening to this. 2021 seems like years ago. Yeah. Okay, and so this one right here is going to be an Ultra Boost 2.0. I'm about to say one, but this is the first one that I bought, right? So back in 2016 in September, made an order for these to see what all this Boost hype was all about. Got these in the mail eventually, and I thought to myself, well, this is just and then here we are, several years later, still buying a bunch of these things. So it made a pretty good impression on me, right? So there you go. There's that. The Core Black Ultra Boost 2.0. My first pair, and not actually my most worn though, because I got a lot of them early on, and I wore them all pretty evenly. But I'd say like as I think the 3.0 is probably the era where I like wore those the most because I liked those more, the colors that I had or whatever, at least for a long time. And so now, moving along, we have yet another black Ultra Boost. This one, let me pull out the other one so you can kind of see. This one's a collaboration shoes, right? So this, see that up there? You got that skull at the top. This is from the Show Me the Money show. That's from season 8. It was some kind of Korean game show, so these were a Korean exclusive. They did also have a white pair, or maybe it was like a light gray. I don't know. But they have that going on, right? So you got 3M, not on the legs. I'm not sure. They don't feel like it, but definitely on the upper, which is why the way it looks. And as a big fan of the 3M, this was the thing that I totally wanted when I saw it. And so now I have it. And I will say, I'm not a huge fan of like white type shoes and all that stuff, just because of the kind of person I am now, with always like completing little packs of things and whatnot. I do wish I had just bought it anyway, you know. But whatever. I'm not gonna look into it now. It's not that serious. So moving along, we have Ultra Boost 3.0. Like I'm saying, these kind of have like more lines than not. And the idea behind that look was to make these kind of look more like muscle fibers, tendons or something in your feet. So that way, when you're moving, that's kind of like what it's supposed to. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what that really looks like, but I can tell you this. I remember specifically buying this pair. You remember what concert it was that I went to? I feel like that Cherry Day, maybe. And Shinedown was there, so I'm pretty sure it was that day. But I remember going to the store looking for these. They had them, and I was like, yes, these right here, 9.5, please. Back in those days, they actually probably a lot of people that knew what size I wore, so I could just tell them what I wanted and then just go get it. Yeah, I was a frequent flyer back in those days. Nowadays, I do just like just some random other because I don't mall a lot. Deals are online and the variety online. So why go to the mall? Kind of sucks because I like malls existing, but they're kind of not giving me a reason to go there, so they're all going to go away, which is unfortunate because again, it can't be nice. So Dick's Sporting Goods is still doing the right environment, but I don't really see a whole lot of them outside of places where there are malls. This right here is an Ultra Boost 5.0 uncaged, right? Yeah, Ultra Boost 5.0 uncaged. So same as I was saying before, you got the different stitching patterns on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, working your way back. That's what's happening here. And like I was saying, the uncaged would come back every so often. Not a whole lot. They'd probably put out like one a year or 1 or 2 years. And this is one of the last ones that I remember seeing, and it actually worked out pretty nicely. Not as good overall as like the other ones, but at the same time, I still can't really complain. I just like the fact that they're doing it. And even though it doesn't quite match up to some of the other offerings that they had in the past, no real complaints either. And now moving on to the final pair, and this is 33 minutes, so not terrible, I suppose. This right here, two, right? Yeah, Climate Cool 2. That's what the CC. They did do some Ultra Boost Climbers in 2018, I think it was. And I can't remember what it was. I think they just had like the more open holes at the bottom of the toe box there, but otherwise it's like very similar. But later on, they started doing some of these. Now they're all like got the extra holes on the side, so as you can see, you can basically see right through this thing with all the light stuff. So that makes them super light, super breathable, very cool. Good shoe to wear in the summer, but I wore this like a week ago, so definitely this is that. But I do like them. It's kind of a cool thing. Weird in a way, but functionality wise, and this thing is also odd. It's like climate cool at the top. I don't know. It just feels weird. Almost feels like a gel of some sort, but it's not. Whatever. So there we go. That is all of them. That's all the loose shoes I wore for last month. So now I'm about to close this video out. So this is the moment where if anybody has any questions out there and you want to have like some real answer from me, this is your window. Because otherwise you're gonna leave some sort of comment and I'm gonna give you like some 2 word reply like, cool man. Because You know, I don't always really care to reply to comments because, like, when I sit down to do it, I filter through so much trash that by the time I get to something that's like decent, it's like I just don't care anymore, and I'm like, oh, thanks, just move on. So if you're ever wondering why I kind of come off the way I do in the comment section, that's why. It's not necessarily your fault necessarily, but you know, it could be though. You could be one of those people. I don't know who's listening to this right now. Anyways, so I feel like that was ample time for someone to get in there and start typing things out, assuming you're watching this in real time, of course, or at least with that 7 to 15 second delay that's built in. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up so I can go on, maybe watch the last hour and a half of SmackDown. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I do have some videos that will be coming up soon-ish. Because I just did my Wolf Gray Jordan 12 thing today, the quarterly pickup thing today, and Pro Wrestling Crate also today. So those will be rolling out in some order, probably not that order in which I said them. If anything, it might be backwards. So yeah, that'll be happening at some point over the next few days. So there you go. And Kevin Collins says, enjoy SmackDown. Okay. And then Scott says, Carmelo just walked out. You're good. Not sure how to take that. All right. Thanks for stopping in and doing whatever you were doing while I was doing this. Like if you were listening to it or watching it or just helping me get some watch hours up is a thing that some people are into. Whatever. Definitely appreciate it. But for now, I'm going to move on. So maybe we'll cross paths in the future. We'll figure that out in the future. Later, people.